Yo, what's good, mob folks? I'm here to talk about this dude, Francesco Marino Mannoia, a straight-up Sicilian Mafia guy who turned into one of the biggest snitches ever. Man, his story is wild, like something out of a crime movie but real. I ain't getting into his personal stuff, just the crazy things he did in the mob and how he flipped on everybody, alright? So, grab a seat, chill out, cause this is about a mafia guy gone rogue. So, Francesco Marino Mannoia. They called him Mozzarella or the Chemist, cause he was a wizard at making heroin. He was part of this crew in Palermo, the Santa Maria di Gesù family, working for a big boss named Stefano Bontad. This was in the 70s, and Marino was the guy turning morphine from Turkey into pure heroin in hidden labs. He cooked up, like, 1,000 kilos just for Bontad. Man, that's a ton of drugs. Big families like the Gambinos in New York and the Inzerillos in Sicily were all about him. He was a major player in this huge drug ring, the Spatola-Inzerillo Gambino network, shipping heroin to places like New York and Miami, making millions, maybe billions. He even linked up with John Gambino in Palermo, who checked the heroin to make sure it was good stuff. But Marino wasn't just mixing drugs, he was deep in the dirty work. They say he was tied to at least 17 murders, helping cover them up. Like, back in 77 or 78, Bontad had him dig up bodies, including this journalist, Mauro De Mauro, who got nabbed in 70 for poking around mob business. Marino used acid to make them disappear, no trace left. He also admitted to stealing this super famous painting, The Nativity by Caravaggio, in '69. It was a big mob score, but he said it got wrecked during the job, so it's gone for good. He was also working with the Cherry Hill Gambinos in the US, cooking their heroin, keeping the cash rolling in. Then the 80s hit, and things got nuts with the Second Mafia War. It was a huge fight between Bontad's crew and the Corleonesi, led by this scary dude Salvatore Riina. Bontad got killed in '81, and tons of his guys went down. Marino was lucky he was in jail for drug trafficking when it started, so he dodged the worst. In '83, his brother Agostino, a mob hitman, helped him break out of prison. They went straight to Riina, the new boss, and got his okay to work for the Corleonesi. Marino kept making heroin, stacking money. But in '85, the cops nabbed him again, thanks to other snitches like Tommaso Busetta. He got slapped with 16 years in the Maxitrial, this massive case against the Sicilian Mafia. While locked up, Marino started planning against Riina with his brother and another guy, Vincenzo Puccio. They wanted to take out the boss, but the plan got out. In April '89, Agostino vanished. Luper Bianca, that's when the Mafia makes you disappear, no body found. His car was all bloody, and Puccio got whacked in jail soon after. Marino knew he was next, so in fall '89, his girlfriend Rita reached out to the anti-mafia cops in Rome. She said he'd only talked to Judge Giovanni Falcone, the top mafia hunter. They cut a deal for protection, and on October 8, '89, Marino started spilling everything. He was the first guy from the winning Corleonesi side to flip, telling secrets about hits, like on guys like Filippo Marchesi, dissolved in acid or whatever. Falcone said Marino was super sharp, one of the best talkers ever. His info filled like 300 pages, leading to tons of arrests and helping the Maxitrial hold up. But the Mafia hit back hard. In November '89, before it went public, a hit squad led by Giuseppe Lucchesi took out his mom, sister, and aunt in Bagheria. First time they killed women like that just to scare other snitches. Marino's wife ditched him for ratting, but Rita stayed, and they got married later. Italy didn't have a witness program yet, so he went to the US one, testifying against the Gambinos like John, Rosario, and Joe in the Pizza Connection case about the heroin ring. He dropped some wild stuff, too. Said Roberto Calvi, that Vatican banker found hanged in London in '82 was killed by the Mafia cause he lost their money when his bank crashed. The hitman was Francesco Di Carlo, ordered by Giuseppe Callo and some sketchy guy, Licio Gelli. Di Carlo later said he was asked but didn't do it. Marino also tied the mob to big politics, saying Bontad met Prime Minister Giulio Andreotti twice in '79 and '80 with Salvo Lima to talk about a hit on some politician. That got Andreotti charged in '93, after Falcone and Borsellino got killed. Marino even flew over Palermo in a chopper with cops, pointing out hideouts and body dumps. One spot had a list of people paying the mob, even fancy folks like doctors. His info helped big time in the Pizza Connection trial, nailing guys for the drug ring, and kept the pressure on the mafia. He did about 17 years in Italy and the US, got out around 2010, and went back to Italy for better protection. Life was tough, though low cash, like €1,000 a month, no real ID for his family. He tried to end it a couple times, feeling like the state forgot him after all he gave. But he kept helping, even in 2011 on old cases. His flip was huge, man, showed even the top dogs could turn, giving cops the real dirt on the 80s mafia. So, yeah, that's Francesco Marino Mannoia, everybody. From cooking heroin and hiding bodies to snitching on bosses and politicians, he shook up the mob world. Lost his family, went through hell, but changed the game. The mafia life's brutal, but flipping can hit them hard. Thanks for chilling with me. Catch you next time.